I feel like anybody that even mentions the word Heisman from now on when talking about Stetson Bennett, like somehow someone should just come out of the shadows and slap the shit out of you right in the back of the neck. Georgia beats Kentucky 16-6. Boy, was I wrong. I thought we were done with these games this year. I thought those middle of the year games against Kent State and Mizzou, I thought we had turned a corner from that. I mean, we've blown out 5 or 6 teams in a row since then. I didn't expect another shit show like this. This was absolutely horrendous. And what's sad is you've got a quarterback in Stetson Bennett who the coaches pretend to be in love with. The guy's been in college for 12 years. He's older than half the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And when the game is on the line in the second half and you need yards and you need first downs and you need points, they don't even trust that guy to throw one fucking pass. It's sad. That's sad. Stetson Bennett comes out, throws an interception in the third quarter. They didn't let him throw another pass the entire damn game. Run, 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 run. How many third and ones and fourth and ones did Georgia have? And they couldn't even get one fucking yard. It's embarrassing. This is a terrible performance. The only thing that the only thing that's making me feel a little bit better at all is that Michigan didn't play great, almost lost. TCU didn't play great, almost lost. Ohio State was losing to Maryland at halftime. Maryland just scored again. It's Ohio State 33, Maryland 30. I don't know what it is about this week, but the top 4 teams, all 4 teams, remained undefeated. Well, we'll see about Ohio State. They've got a 3-point lead. Ohio State does with 10 minutes to go. But Michigan survived today. TCU barely survived today. And now Georgia, 16-6. Georgia scored 1 touchdown today. Unbelievable. Piss poor. Stetson Bennett played like dog shit. I'm sorry. The guy has been around forever. I've tried so hard not to talk bad about Stetson Bennett this year. And look, the reality is, I appreciate what Stetson Bennett does for the team when he plays well. I appreciate what he did at the end of last year. I appreciate what he did in the second half of the national title game. Well, the fourth quarter of the national title game. He played like shit in the first 3 quarters of the national title game, but he played good in the fourth. I appreciate the handful of games he's played good in this year. But then you have shit like this. This guy comes out here, he can't complete a fucking pass past the line of scrimmage. I mean, I don't know what his stats are, but they're doo-doo. And then most of those yardage, if you look up Stetson Bennett's yardage, most of it is passes at or behind the line of scrimmage. I don't think the guy completed more than 2 or 3 passes more than 4 yards downfield. And it's not just me that is noticing this. The goddamn coaches won't even let him throw a pass. Kentucky scores a touchdown, a 2-point conversion. Would have made it a 1-score game. They missed a 2-point conversion, so Georgia's up 16-6. We get the ball back. They didn't let Stetson Bennett throw out one goddamn pass. We come out, we get a couple of first downs on the ground, come up on a 3rd and long. Guess what we do? Run it up the goddamn middle. I mean, the coaches, it used to be the coaches were Stetson Bennett's biggest cheerleaders. How do you explain not letting this guy throw a pass? The reality is he's just not very good. Todd Monken ought to make $10 million a year. Georgia's offensive coordinator. Honestly, Todd Monken might deserve to make more than Kirby for last year and this year. What Todd Monken has been able to do with this offense is unbelievable. You want to talk about making chicken salad out of chicken shit? You're talking about people like Stetson Bennett, Ladd McConkey, Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. These are our offensive weapons? And we're somehow averaging 45 points a game? This is unbelievable. Todd Monken, he ought to be the highest paid coordinator on planet Earth, period. He's the best coach on our team. I know the defense is great, and I love the defensive coaches. They deserve every penny, too. But what Todd Monken is able to do with friggin' Stetson Bennett and Ladd McConkey is unbelievable. It just blows my mind what he's able to get out of those two. You talk about squeezing every last drop of potential and talent out of 2 individuals. You're looking at it there. And while I'm bitching and moaning, the defense didn't play good today either. This is the worst game I think I've seen the defense play maybe since 2020. Kentucky went up and down the field. The 1 touchdown that Kentucky scored, 99-yard touchdown drive. It wasn't like it was a turnover and we gave them the ball in good field position. A 99-yard touchdown drive for Kentucky in this game. In the first half, even though Kentucky didn't have any points, The first 2 times Kentucky got the ball, they marched right down the field into the red zone. The first time they decided to go for it on 4th down instead of taking the points, and they turned the ball over on downs. The second time they got down in the red zone, and Will Levis made a poor decision on a throw and threw an interception. But like I said, I'm not a stats guy. I haven't even looked up the stats for this game, but Kentucky had some yardage in this game. 99-yard touchdown drive, 2 other length of the field drives that resulted in no points. Not a good performance by the defense. And that interception Stetson Bennett threw is probably the worst. It seems like every interception he throws is the worst interception I've ever seen. But he does what he normally does. He closed his eyes, threw the ball a mile in the air, floated it way up, right down the middle of the field, into the middle of too high safety look, right in the middle of double coverage. And, of course, Kentucky comes down with it. But I don't know, man. This was a very uninspiring effort from Georgia today. I thought the players were unprepared. I thought the game plan was terrible. The scheme was terrible. The execution was terrible. I thought Georgia played bad last week. And won at Mississippi State by 26 points, 45-19 or whatever it ended up being. That was great compared to what I saw today. This was bad. And like I said, the only thing that's keeping my head above water right now is that everybody else in the top 4 played like shit today too. Michigan was probably the luckiest. Well, Michigan and TCU. Blake Corum goes down. Michigan wins on a field goal at the end. TCU does what they always do, trail the whole game, and then kick a game-winning field goal. And now you got Ohio State 33, Maryland 30. Pineapple Jr. Remember Tua? Yeah. His younger brother is still at Maryland. Tua Pineapple Jr. Outplaying C.J. Stroud. Wow. Drake May should win the Heisman. North Carolina's playing Georgia Tech right now. I'm not watching much of that, though. Western Kentucky and Auburn, what are they doing, too? That was weird. That game was tied 17 apiece. Auburn kicked a field goal. Now they've done scored a touchdown. They're up 27-17. North Carolina's up 17-0 over Georgia Tech. Drake May should win the Heisman. If anybody besides Drake May wins the Heisman, it's going to be a disgrace. 88 yards already. The game ain't been on that long. But anyway, Drake May should win the Heisman. Second quarter of that game. Anyway, Georgia's 11-0, and that's a good thing, but this was just piss poor. And like I said, I have to physically... I have to put myself in a verbal straitjacket every single week to keep from talking about Stetson Bennett. How I feel about Stetson Bennett is not a secret. I've tried my best to be respectful and to give him the benefit of the doubt because we won a national title last year, woo. I get it. He's not very good. Sorry, he's not very good, and the coaches know it. And that's why when the game was on the line today, they didn't trust that dummy to make not one throw. Well, Lou, it was cold and it was windy. We're not Ohio State. We don't make excuses. It was cold and windy when Will Levis was playing, and he was throwing the ball all over the goddamn field. While we were busy not letting Stetson Bennett throw a single fucking pass, Kentucky threw the ball 45 times in a row and threw it great. You know why? Because Will Levis is an NFL quarterback with an NFL arm and NFL talent. I have no clue what it feels like to watch my team play with a legitimate, a talented QB. I know what it's like to watch a bunch of them sit on the fucking bench, though.